PPMD, I know that you're from North Carolina. What is it like traveling this far to compete at EVO?
Number one, it's really hot. It's definitely a different environment because I'm used to everything spread out, and the people are maybe a little bit more friendly, or it's a little more humid too where I live. And coming out here, in the big city, the neon lights, and we're in the middle of the desert. It's a different environment, and so it's something. It's just like another condition of a tournament you have to get used to. And I'm doing my best. I'm adjusting, trying to stay inside where the air conditioning is.
Yeah, it's really hot outside, like over 100 degrees, which is crazy. I know that you came a long way, and back in North Carolina, it wasn't a huge Smash scene. What has it been like for you competing basically on your own and not around other Smash players?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the number one questions I like to answer. How did I improve when I was so disconnected from everyone else? Most people don't have that type of disadvantage. Well, the first thing I did was I got really motivated. There's no way you can get anywhere without that. I felt like this game was just a game for me, and I was determined to do anything I could do to be good at it. So what I did was I took my handy VCR and I hooked it up to my TV, and then I played my little brother. He was 11 years old, and he would play with me. And so I taught him how to play, and we played together. And then I would record it, and then I would go put it on my computer, and I would watch it. And then I say, okay, what can I do better? What was good? What was bad? Then I'd take the VCR, put it back on the TV. The next day we'd play again, and I would spend so much time just looking at myself over and over until I just knew what I was thinking, knew myself really well, knew how I played. And I took that combined with YouTube getting bigger, with other players getting more of their material online, took what I could from that, what I liked, what I didn't like, and I just began building. I began speaking with others online. People weren't doing this so much. They didn't build the skill because they didn't have to. They could just play and build the game on their own. So I became very good at thinking abstractly about the game. I became very good at breaking down what I was able to observe. I became not so good at adjusting mid-match because I never had to worry about that. I always played opponents that I was much better than, because I just had such a solid game plan going in every time because I had looked at myself so much. It didn't matter so much. And I would say that in the long run it's hurt me a little bit, but I am working on it. But the point is, I mentally played a lot. I played watching. I played thinking. I would be walking somewhere or driving. Don't do that. And I would think. I would look at it and say, okay, well, they're doing this right now. What can I do to beat it? And things like that. So I just really tried to explore every avenue to improvement I could outside of just playing someone because I really wanted it.
I know that everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, so you would say that that was your strength and you're a very technical person. How do you compare in other aspects to other players?
I would say that a lot of us are very similar in how we improve. So I would say myself and Mewtwo King especially, we're very good at watching things. We're very good at building stuff outside of matches. Armada's kind of like that too, but Armada is just he is the new master of practice. He sits home and he grinds it over and over until he has it down. And I wasn't much for that. I would rather observe and kind of watch, and then and then put some practice into it afterward. And I have like a measure of that, and I am pretty technically tight, but not as much as him. So he has that on me. The disadvantage there, I would say, is that if you make him mess up his routine, he can get kind of flustered, and that'll happen to him. And then Mango is a very interesting case. He's very different from the rest of us. Mango doesn't care about frames. He doesn't care what you're doing on YouTube anymore. He doesn't care. He wants to sit down, and he wants to play you, and he wants to be able to observe what's going on. He is very good at adjusting in the middle of a match. That is his strong suit, in addition to just having a very solid game plan. So he has a strength that the rest of the top players do not possess. Hungrybox kind of has like a mix of what everyone else has. He's kind of okay at adapting in a match. He has a decent game plan. He's kind of okay at watching what we're doing online. He spread his stuff out a little bit, and so he has, I would say, variable success based on that.
You said a bunch of really top players. A majority of them are really adapting to Fox. Do you think Fox is an asset that you need to learn how to play in order to win and be a top player?
Not one bit. I think the top characters in this game, and even some of the better ones, are good enough to where they can still compete as long as you are really working yourself and pushing yourself very hard. Characters, especially characters like Falco and Marth, which I play, Sheik, Captain Falcon. A lot of people don't think he's that good, but I do. Obviously, Peach, our motto, I would say, is proving that pretty well, and perhaps even Ice Climbers, which we have one in the top 8 for EVO again this year with Fly Amanita. So these characters can definitely compete. And Fox, while being very good, while being more popular, which seems to happen as the game grows, because Fox was also a lot bigger of a character back in 2006 and 2007 when Melee was on the MLG circuit for a little while, and then it was booming, and then it was still growing a whole lot before Brawl came out. So I think there is something related to what people think is like maybe the best, but whether he actually is, we don't see it too much. We just know that everyone plays him, and Mango is the first Fox in ever to win tournaments, with any consistency. So I would say that's more him than it is the character, at least for now.
I know that. Let's go back to you playing Marth and Falco. You are one of the best Falcos. Why did you pick him?
So I picked Falco and Marth. I played both of them a long time ago when I started playing, because I actually started with Mario, but he's not so good. So I needed to figure out how to play, and remember, no one could teach me. I was separated from everyone. So there was this guy, Overswarm, who had just made a couple YouTube tutorials. Again, I had nothing else, so I said, I'm gonna watch these and I'm gonna play these characters because they were rated as really high at the time. They still are, but some people say they're worse. And I said, okay, so I'm gonna play them. They're good. And then luckily, there was this player from Florida named Shizwiz. He's a very famous player. He had some great matches back in the day. He was an inspiring player. He was very aggressive. He was very technical, very exciting. Everyone wanted to be him when he played Falco. So I said, well, heck, I'm going to be kind of like him. And I tried to do it. It didn't work. But I took away a lot from him, and he was very good to watch. And then so I just kept rolling with it. I kind of wanted to play Marth too because of Mewtwo King. He was on top of the world at the time, but Marth was too uncomfortable. He took a lot more finesse than I had as a scrub. So Falco worked better for me, and I really enjoyed it.
Speaking of top players, I know that you played Ken, and Ken was known to be one of the top players in Smash in the beginning of Smash growing. Can you tell me what it was like playing one of the top players and beating him?
Playing Ken was really neat. He's a lot like Mango, I would say, in that he just when you're playing, he's like, all right, well, I'm not gonna let you get me with the same thing twice, because I'm smarter than that. I'm gonna play and I'm gonna watch you and I'm gonna figure out what you're doing. He actually hit me with Marth's counter move, and it has a lot of startup, and if you miss, you're just vulnerable for a long time. But he's so good at getting Falco players especially to run into that move because he knows what you want to do. And so he got me with it a few times, and he came up with that strategy at NMLG years and years ago, and I was like, oh, I'm getting hit just like another pro did back in the day. So I took my hat off to him. I said, you're a real smart guy, and it was a fantastic match. I really enjoyed playing him. He's obviously not quite what he used to be, but I think from playing him, he's a lot better than when I played him when he returned a year or so ago.
What about the rest of your games during today's matches? How did they go?
I've definitely felt kind of shaky today, unfortunately. Reasons don't really matter, but I went out and I played pretty solidly my first few matches, and one of them being Ken. And then I had to play Hungry Box for winners top 8. And it was a solid first match for me on Battlefield. He's a Jigglypuff player, for anyone who doesn't know, and I really liked that matchup because of him, because he beat me so much the first year I was traveling. So I wanted to get really good at it, and I destroyed him the first game, and the second game I couldn't tell you what happened, but everything just slowed down and it worked out well for him, and he took the game. And I guess I just ran out of gas. He got me the last game. It was a close one. It was a nail biter, but he clutched it out, and good stuff to him. And then in losers I played the NorCal hero Pew Pew You, and I decided to play him in Marth Dittos instead of Falco because I wasn't feeling Falco anymore that day, and I really like the Marth Ditto too, fortunately. So, and I clutched it out, but he played very well, and I could tell he's been learning a lot.
What are your expectations for tomorrow's matches? It is the final day. Where are you expecting to be in the brackets?
Well, I play against Fly Amanita, the ice climbers, first off. He's very good. He's very good. We haven't played in tournament in I think about 3 years. So there's a lot that could have changed in that time. And he actually did beat me when we played 3 years ago. So I have to take him very seriously. He's very good, and I'm hoping, because I'm very fortunate in that he doesn't do the Ice Climbers Infinite because he's not good at it. I'm very lucky. It gives me an edge, I think, and it should allow me to get a better punish on him than he can get on me. And I'm hoping that'll be enough of an edge to get me to take the set. And then after that, I'm not sure how the bracket works after that, but I'm hoping of the remaining contenders, I have a good strategy for every one of them. All that's left is to do it, and hopefully I make a terrific run through losers. That's all I can say.
Well, good luck on your matches tomorrow. And is there anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, I'd like to add a shout out to EG and their wonderful sponsors, Monster, HyperX, BenQ, Razer, and CyberPower PC.
Awesome, and thank you so much. For everyone else, make sure to subscribe for more content.
They were telling us they thought it might sell out or be full, and I thought that was a bit of a high dream, but
I think melee, as much as it is a technical thing, it's all mental. So you have to get yourself ready in the head, and you got to start meditating, not meditating,